We used to go out clubbing, and we used to go out to places, and we had chat-up lines and etc. But for some reason, a lot of people would approach me in a nightclub and say, "Can I have a photo taken with you? You look like Michael Jackson from Thriller," and and then that's when I started doing my homework and my research and looking into what the career I could be doing.
You had a lot of friends who used to do Michael Jackson, but they never did it professionally like myself. They did, they were just doing it in shows and just as a hobby, not serious full time. So
would you say you are the best?
I'll say I'm very busy. This is my busiest year, 2016, and the year before, I was coming, and now I seem to be getting so many rebookings. Last night I did a show in Peterborough, and I was requested to do a wedding there. For someone's booked me for a wedding. So when people know you're good, they want to buy into it and they want to book you straight away. And I think that's what I'm doing well now. So
my fan base is growing, so I'm doing shows from a casino to a nightclub, a pub. A restaurant. The setup actually for that Indian restaurant actually was quite fairly good, because some Indian restaurants are very small, tiny space, and the audience is literally 2 meters away from you. So when they're that close to you, they can pick up on a lot of things. So you're really getting exposed. People actually see me as him off and on stage, which is quite scary. I mean, I got a friend, a close friend of mine, Paul. I don't know if I should mention his name, but yeah, he seems to be always getting the women saying to him, "Your friend looks just like him, and has he done any work? Has he done this?" And so I'm kind of two personalities made in one. Yeah.
Hallelujah. Bow down to him. You're very good.
What are the key features of doing the makeup for Michael Jackson?
Highlighting the cheekbones, highlighting the nose, highlighting the face, so it makes it almost look quite very gormy and the face very tiny.
Is there sort of a eureka moment when you're doing it? You're like, "Yep, I've got it now."
I think I'm having one now.
As a boy growing up, I was actually quite a big fan of Michael Jackson. I had Moonwalker, the DVD for Moonwalker, and I used to ask my mum to play that a lot.
Well, my father was actually a doctor, and mum was a teacher, so they found it quite weird at first. They said, "Oh, are you sure about this, doing Michael Jackson?" They didn't understand the entertainment value, what the financial side is, and also the satisfaction you get from doing it. So at first they weren't so appreciative towards it, but as I became more popular and I started breaking through the market, they've really have supported me now.
Have they come and seen your shows?
It's actually a really good question. They actually haven't never seen my show, but they know just sort of about my feedback from certain venues and people, just sort of via Facebook and media. The issue here is that they actually live in America and I live here, so yes, it would be quite interesting to see my mum and dad in the audience, So my mum actually liked Michael Jackson quite a bit, so it'd be interesting to see what she thinks.
The singing and the dancing together is the combination of the two is very tough. I think that is the development really. You can do one skill, but if you haven't got both skills, then you've got your critics against you. So I think that's what I'll say. Both of them singing, and they're both equally as hard as each other. Yeah.
Over the years, I just decided to be, to really prepare. As from personal experiences and speaking to a lot of vocal coaches, and good for the voice as well. To actually do a bit of warm up before you go on stage. I'm ready now. We got Jackson for tonight. It was a phenomenal reaction. I really enjoyed the performance and the crowd's reaction. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was brilliant. You know, it's so hard to measure that one. It was just as good as as any of them. But I would say that was quite a high one. Christmas time, people are buzzing, and it was good to get a great reaction after every song, and people really joined in. They were really interested in every part of the show and the aspect of the show. I felt like I had them at one point in Man in the Mirror. It's part of the heartthrob job I'm doing, It's doing a tribute to Michael Jackson. The women are so women seem to come forward more and want to touch the guy, want to come close to me and touch me, see if I'm real and not plastic. So
Nice.
It was only been a couple of I say half a year actually from right now. I've been working on my own music. I mean, before I doing the Michael Jackson, as I mentioned to you, people notice I do Michael Jackson. I actually used to be in a band. Used to be in a band. Used to be writing my own songs, playing my instrument, and really trying to work on my own music. So I mean, that's what I'm looking into right now, and would love to. Actually, I would love to show you some of my own music. See what you think. The gig tonight is in a leisure centre. Actually, they've converted it into a big main event where all the business companies around Taunton are coming along to have a Christmas party. So it's Christmas party entertainment for them. Fair amount of people up here. So at least about 300 people. I've actually got a different show today. Actually, it's with a live band, so it's different to compare where you filmed me before. Well, I was just myself with a backing track. This time we'll be actually with a live band, actually singing live with musicians. So it's totally a bit different from what last time we went to.
Have you ever performed with a live band before?
This actually is my first time, so I'm not nervous. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited, and fingers crossed I should have the right result. We had some rehearsals, and when I first came to rehearsal I was really nervous, and I think after getting to know them after a while, it did really calm me down, and found it quite easy.
And you've actually got your song as one of the numbers on the set list tonight, is that right?
That's right, actually, yeah. We may be playing it tonight. We might get lucky to get a snippet of the song, and we'll see how people react to it. So it'll be really good to see that reaction. I think it'd be lovely to see how people thought of a song I wrote and composed as well.
I thought you'd be knocking my bedroom door, so set me free, girl. You said that you'll be there for me, now you're just a friend, girl. You said that you'll be there for me, now you're just a friend, now you're just a friend, now you're just a friend. Set me free, girl. Set me free, girl. Set me free, girl. Keep it going. Set me free, girl. Give me the bridge. Set me free, girl. Come on. Set me free, girl. Set me free, girl. You said that you'll be there for me. Now you're just a friend, girl. You said that you'll be there for me. Now you're just a friend.
It's the band that set a kind of blueprint for everybody else. The Bootlegs always had an orchestra, which is something that none of the other bands had, which set them apart. One thing that's happened to me playing the Beatles stuff is I became a better musician, and I think any time that a musician goes on stage and performs, it's just going to make them a better musician. So I know that a lot of songwriters will just hang around in their bedrooms writing songs, but that's not making them a better musician. And also, you're experiencing music that you maybe not be able to think of yourself. So you're being introduced to different ideas that have happened before. So I don't think there's any harm in performing other people's music in a tribute band if you wanted to go on and then do your own stuff. I think it's just going to make you better.
Strawberry fields forever.
It is daunting because I'd seen the bootlegs a few times before I joined them. It is a daunting gig because, you know, there's a lot of history that goes with the bootlegs. They've done, you know, they did everything. You know, they'd been there and done it before I joined them. So to come on board and start, you know, doing it with a new lineup and with these lads, I'd seen these play with them before as well. It is a tough gig, you know, but once you're in it, you're doing it and you forget about that. You just get on with it, you just do it, you know, you do it as best as you can, you know. And that's the main thing, is making sure it's right, or it sounds right, looks right.
Well, this is a 1964 as well. These can go for up to like 20 odd grand.
I think that's the thing with the Beatles. They're so universally recognised and loved the world over that you've got to try and reenact the character as much as you possibly can. Members of the public that are fanatical about the Beatles will be certainly fast at letting you know when you've done something wrong. So, you know, they know every mimic and move, and you know, they recognise it when you do it, but they also recognise it when you don't do it. So, you know, it's important that you do get it right. Yeah, well, naturally I'm a right-handed musician, so I would play a guitar, you know, naturally right-handed. And then as I kind of got into beatling, as it was, you know, I used to get comments that I wasn't left-handed, and I just thought, you know, I've got to try and do it. I think if you weren't a fan, then your delivery of the job would be maybe a little bit casual, or, you know, there wouldn't be the same amount of enthusiasm or interest, I think, if you weren't a fan. You've got to be a fan in order to throw yourself into it. That's very easy to be yourself, but to actually go on stage and be someone else, it's quite tough. It's quite a demanding role. So I think you have to be a fan in order to be able to, you know, take the role and embrace it and really give it all, you know, because it does take some doing. You know. Is that okay for you, Mark?
It's a nice mix of both, really, because I mean, we are a band because we have to play music together, and you know, that's what bands do. But it isn't just the four of us out here saying whatever we want or anything. There is a show, it's a spectacle. There's lights and there's videos and there's the orchestra, like Gordon said. And so you've got to try and make it slick and a bit of an event for people, rather than just four guys playing some music. Hopefully it's a lot more than that. We've spent so much time looking at the Beatles' faces and hairstyles and everything. I think we've absorbed all the details a lot more than just like a hairdresser would hire in to brush our wigs. So we can really get it right for how we want to see it, and not have to rely on somebody who's just got a vague general idea of what they think they should do for us. So in that respect, although we do it ourselves, I think it's better that we do it ourselves for that.
It just puts me in touch with my feminine side. I mean, it's as far as it goes, really.
unfortunately, I was well turned 40, because I'm well turned 50 now, and that was over 10 years ago. I used to run the Oxfordshire pool team, and they had a karaoke competition one night, and someone said, "Oh, we heard you sing, and you've got to enter this competition." I went, "No." They went, "Yeah, you've got to." So I said, "Okay." And I asked what the rules were. They said, whoever gets the loudest applause from the audience will win. And everybody put a £10 in there. And there was about, I don't know, 20 or 30 people in this competition. And funny, it's just strange, mine came out last, and I'd done Elvis, Teddy Bear, and I'd done the Viva Las Vegas. We've got people dancing and jigging about and everything, and I got the biggest applause. I won it hands down. Sat down, the man come over and said, "So how much do you charge for your Elvis shows?" I said, "Oh, I don't do Elvis." He said, "Well, you've just sung them better than my friend in London, and he gets over £1,000 per gig." So I thought, okay, let's give it a whirl, because I was in a job I've been doing for a long time and I didn't enjoy it. So, and ever since I've started, it's been, no-brainer. Absolutely love it every time. My stomach is churning, feeling sick every time before I go out for a show, but, horrible. But I love doing it. All these are the starling moves. And as you can see, my hair is naturally wavy. It's getting a bit tatty now. That's why I had it remade. And I have the eagle bands go around the waist like Elvis's does. This was made by Neil Silversides in Manchester. Unfortunately, he used a different supplier, and if you look closely, you can see where the brass has bled into the jumpsuit. So he's making me a new one, hopefully in time for when I go to Greece on the 16th of May. And he promised it would be ready for this weekend, but as you can see, it's not. And this is a little bit baggy on me because the amount of weight I've lost. This one here as well, which I told you it's actually the Raised on Rock jumpsuit. It also has another name. It's called the Orange Starburst, as you can see, because it's orangey coloured and looks like it's burst open. Again, it's very, very popular. Not many ETAs have it because it takes such a long time for the guys to make and line out, because when you got it on, all these actually line up with from the back down to the front. If I just show you the cape on that one as well, which is not as heavy as the lower, thank goodness. I've lost so much weight, one of the rings I nearly threw across the room. This one here is called the Maltese Cross, worn with a lot of gospel songs, obviously, being religious, and Elvis was a very, very religious person. This is the Tiger's Claw, which goes along with the Raised on Rock suit. That would only be worn with the Raised on Rock, no other jumpsuit. The American Eagle. We have the TCB, which Elvis designed himself. And this one is the Lion's Head. Again, we can wear it whenever we want, with whatever jumpsuits, really. And then we have the Horseshoe. All speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? And then we have the Panther, which is, Elvis liked his glittery rings. The sunglasses, they are real sunglasses, and his sunglasses did have EP in the middle as well, like these. I was saying Elvis Presley. People always say Elvis never ever sung in his sunglasses. Well, they're wrong. He did. He did concerts in his sunglasses, especially when he thought he was tired and his eyes were tired, so he'd wear his sunglasses to hide his eyes from the audience.
Anyway, the next song I'm going to sing is special to me. Early December, I was fighting for my life in JR Hospital, and someone was definitely looking over me. The next song is How Great Thou Art. Consider all world's our hand.
I was very, very apprehensive. Very, very apprehensive. Because normally I would practice twice a week, 3 times a week. I hadn't done any practice. Because I was so ill, it just drains me of energy. And it still does now, even though I've been recovered since, or discharged from the hospital since the 11th of January. Felt so lethargic, and I'm thinking, if I show that in my show, it's not going to happen. I thought I won't get rebooked.
So what do you think of the crowd?
They're hard work. They're very hard work. But
is that typical of a pub?
It is typical of a pub, yeah. I've done weddings. I've done funerals, okay, which are I felt really uncomfortable, really. I didn't get dressed because they told me I'd be behind a curtain singing. And the biggest compliment was, after I sung these 2 songs on his coffin coming in and then going to be cremated, was when I appeared, people said, we thought it was a CD. We honestly thought it was a CD. So it was very nice of them to say that. I've performed at a football stadium. I've performed in pubs and clubs. And you saw one of the lovely dressing rooms I got dressed in the other day. But then it's been advertised. So they didn't want to be here. Why bother coming?
Okay, ladies, I need 3 volunteers to help me out. Why are they all turning their backs?
They obviously must have wanted to be here. On the plus side, they haven't ribbed me, have they? Yet. I love, as you saw, mingling with the crowd, with the audience. But when you do a theatre, they want you to stay on stage and just stand there and sing. Well, that's not how I do my shows. But if I got asked to go and do a couple, I would go and do a couple. It was quite funny when I did meet a guy called Jay, who does Michael Jackson. We were in Greece. He was on a balcony. I was below. We were having breakfast, and we never even thought about it. We're just in our civvies and everything else, and just sat there eating away and chatting up and down. And then suddenly this guy came up and said, sorry guys, I hope you don't mind interrupting, but could you please stand up so I can have a picture of Elvis and Michael Jackson? You don't often see him having breakfast together. And in fact, my wife's daughters used to go to school with him as well. So it's a very small world. So yes, I do enjoy it. But
I hope you agree, no one can ever replace the late, great Mr. Elvis Aaron Presley. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, God bless. Hope again to see you soon.
I was in a schoolboy band for all of my school years. When it came to playing other people's stuff, we preferred the Stones to the Beatles, and it just became something very organic from there on in. And I never ever lost that inspiration that I got from hearing that first LP. And then my first job when I left school was working at Decca, which was the Rolling Stones record label. That was, again, deliberate. I worked in the promotion department there, and during the day I'd be plugging records around the BBC and plugging Stones records as well, funnily enough.
Oh, where were they going?
There was a lot of interest from not every agent. Some agents found it all a bit tacky, but the ones who had booked and seen what was happening in Bjorn Again thought that it was a goer. They said, well, the Bootleg Beatles have already been up and running. Bjorn Again was very successful. Yeah, if you've got a good Stones show, why not? And that was in 1991. And that was it. That was the birth of it. And here we are 26 years later, and I've never stopped.
Just the opening one now then, Stevie baby. Okay.
Can I try my acoustic first?
You know why some awkward back of it?
Oh, that's because I unplugged it in. Just testing.
The whole production was set up to do small venues, and when you go up a gear to go into theatres, you've got all the extra expense of promotional material, like lots of print. You've got to employ a PR person. You can't do your own gear.
1, 2, yeah. 1, 2.
So I can remember in 1996 when we first went into our first theatre show, which was booked by the two guys who ran the Bootleg Beatles. We had 30 dates with about 2 days off, and I just had to bankroll it. And it didn't break even, it lost a bit of money. But during the time of us playing the theatres, it meant the reputation grew so much that we were then getting clients, corporate clients, that we wouldn't have got. So it was a temporary investment that became a great springboard for our future, because from that point on we went up a gear, a big gear. One of the strangest experiences while playing a gig was playing at the top of Tower Bridge, because we'd been invited to play there for this American woman's husband. It was his 50th birthday. And as we started playing and the audience started dancing and jumping, this walkway that we're on really moved an awful lot. And I kept thinking, this bridge was not designed for a rock and roll band and 100 people to be dancing on. And that did feel a bit strange, because I could almost see the headlines, Counterfeit Stones, dying, crash, Tower Bridge. So that was probably one of the strangest.
You can send me dead flowers every morning. Send me dead flowers by the mail. Send me dead flowers to my wedding.
In 1987, in the Back to the Broken English period, this sounded like Stones record that I'd made, Coming On Strong.
Yeah, she's on your neck before you know it. She wants to please, just gonna blow it. You wanna scream, but you don't show it. She's coming on, she's coming on, she's coming on, she's coming on, she's coming on strong.
All the media thought it was the Rolling Stones, which is what we were after. That was the effect we were after. And so when we finally announced it wasn't the Rolling Stones, it was a band called Broken English, carried on getting played. We got a pretty good hit with it. A company in America rang me and said, "You're the writer of Coming On Strong." I said, "Yeah," and they said, "We'd like to use it on Grand Theft Auto 3. I think it was 3, was it? You've got the game.
It's 5.
Oh, 5, yeah. Well, I don't play video games, so I don't know.
Life is just one long mystery.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
So I said, yes, of course, I'd love it. I don't know anything about the game. And he said, well, it's the biggest selling game in the world. I said, yeah, I'm definitely interested. So I said, well, how does it work in the game? And he said, oh, there's a sort of a set of radio stations in the game. And I said, well, what on earth, out of all the music that's out there, made you pick that one up? He said, well, it sounded like the Stones and we can't afford the Stones. Well, fine. If I can be a tribute in a video game, then that really is us moving along with history. What keeps it fresh, I think, is we've got a lot of humour in our show. We've got little films that we use as convenient places to change costume during the show, which we have to do. And really the input of the humour is the thing that you have to be creative with. So the songs stay the same, but what I say in between the songs, there's a little bit of stand-up, is the thing that keeps it fresh.
On this next tune, you don't have to know any words. You're just going to do a bit of chanting at the end of the tune, and I'll give you a signal. So I think we could be up for that, don't you? Yeah! We could get something spiritual going in Bromley, wouldn't it? Well, fuck me, it needs it.
It is difficult always thinking that Satisfaction every night is the greatest song ever written. It is, but anything where it's something you've done for such a long period of time, the repetition can get to you. take out the repetition and do something a bit, you know, more for yourself and see that the audience don't get into it, you soon wish you was back doing the familiar stuff. So.